What's happening, everyone? We are back for some more F1 today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Max. I'm a communication skills coach, and what I do on this channel is I look at all different types of people's communication skills. Now, I've done quite a few videos now on several different F1 drivers, and I've given you my initial thoughts on their communication skills and their personalities. Today, this will be my first time reacting to Fernando Alonso. So I'm gonna get right into this, guys. Thanks for being here. And if there's anyone else you'd like to see me analyze, please do let me know.
All right, Fernando, first of all, congratulations on this first race, first podium. You all stunned us. Actually, we were wishing so much that you keep fighting with the big boys again. And actually, you've proven you are where you're supposed to be on top of the field. Is there something that rings a bell for you? Do you think it's possible to achieve another World Championship title?
Well, that's
The first word that comes to mind is intense. Let's continue here.
well, that's the aim for sure. But the aim for the team is just to have a good season. They're struggling a lot in 2022, so I think we have to let's say walk before run. Yeah, hopefully we have more podiums. Hopefully we fight for race wins. But I think to fight for the championship, I think we need to, as I said, set the team a little bit before doing that.
That's the thing with a lot of athletes in the sport that I've noticed from doing these analysis. They seem to be quite realistic.
For sure, but I think at the moment we have to keep the feet in the ground.
So I'm sort of getting in that sense with Fernando off the bat. He seems like quite a serious person. He seems to have a good command of his space without necessarily having to overly project his voice. But either way, there's a sense of realism about him.
Do those milestones mean to you, especially now with this one being the longest year?
When you race for many years, obviously you start breaking records. But I think the only thing that matters is to win and to break the record of championships. And at the moment, that's probably unreachable because 7 of Michael and 7 of Hamilton are out of the possibility, but that will be the aim.
He's an interesting one to look at and analyze because he doesn't give you too much of his personality, it doesn't feel like. He gives you a little. It's what it feels like. He gives you a little. And yeah, I think he kind of keeps his cards, it seems like, somewhat close to his chest. He seems like he's fine with being there, but I don't think he's necessarily the type of guy who seems like he wants to share. He'll kind of smile at certain times during his answer and he lets you in a bit. But then he kind of, not shuts down, but again, kind of sets his boundaries and keeps it pretty brief, it seems like. It seems like he's an all business type of guy in that sense. But just judging by his answers and his demeanor, he seems like a real winner. You know, he seems like a competitive dude.
Probably pick the first race that I won. I will pick from Aston Martin, obviously, the last weekend when we got the podium. And from Renault, I will pick the championship. So it's very easy to pick 3.
Okay, and the biggest one, I'm always interested, is that the first championship you win, or is that the first races on
Always the first championship. Because the second, obviously, was also emotionally, but I think the first one was like a dream come true and a life goal, so I will pick that one.
I mean, of course, they are...
He seems like the type of guy that he comes across as kind and polite, but again, you wouldn't want to fuck with the guy. I'm just really sensing an intensity to him. He's not fully open. He's controlled about being open. Like, he seems quite controlled about that. So he seems like an intense person in that way as well, in terms of like his overall control of his environment. And he does seem to have a really good command over his space. And I think he lets people know what his boundaries are pretty significantly.
When Formula One comes to my mind, there is a lot of things going on. There is obviously the engine, there is the power, there are the things that are going on in the garage as well, all the noises that you hear from the mechanics, all the tools that they are using, and also the fans, as you said. I think the fans are a key part of the sport. There is a big contrast from what you think about Formula One and how I perceive Formula One comparing when I'm driving.
I enjoyed that, and you can tell just by that answer that he's clearly passionate about the sport, obviously. But again, some of that intensity that I'm detecting comes from his eye contact with the interviewer over here too. Like, he lets you know that he's in the room through his eye contact. He might be a man of fewer words, but his presence is definitely felt. Again, like when he's speaking to you, he's looking at you. He might look away to collect his thoughts for a few seconds, but when he comes back at you, he's there with you. So I think just as a lesson, if we want to learn how to sort of get a better command of our space and make our presence felt a little bit more, you can look at a guy like Fernando and see how he makes eye contact with people. He doesn't shy away. He lets them know that he's there.
Prepare sometimes. Do you listen to music to concentrate? How you go into race weekend, also race?
Before the race, I just speak a lot with my engineers and my team, and I get ready in terms of a strategy. The moment where I relax a little bit or I listen to music is more when I travel. We travel.
This guy listens to music?
Every 2 weeks there is a race in a different part of the globe. So I use those times when traveling to really relax.
What kind of music you listen to? I think everybody wants to.
See, this is a good question. Yeah, like we want to see the light side of Alonso here, or I do at least.
I keep changing. I'm very flexible. I'm not a guy that only listens one type of music. I keep listening whatever is the hit of the moment, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that was a pretty serious response. Again, I think it's hard for him to like fully relax and get loose and comfortable. I think there's just a control to the way he communicates. I really do feel that way. Although he seems like a very honest and realistic person, I don't think he lets himself get too vulnerable or too like loosey-goosey. There's hints of lightness when he talks about certain subjects, but even with that answer, like he could have just given a couple artists or said a few things, but it's almost like he didn't want to expose that part of himself. So maybe a part of him has created this sort of harder image. It's like, you got to set your boundaries. You got to be hard to a degree. You can't be soft, because if you are, people are going to steamroll over you. Now, this is just a guess, but potentially that could be the case, right? There's boundaries here, and there's a sense of, I don't want to get too soft.
What are your favorite Bang & Olufsen products?
BioPlay H95, which are very comfy. I use for traveling to listen music and to share with friends as well some songs when you are traveling and you are with your phone. And also at the gym when I'm training, I'm a guy that also puts some music, and they are very comfy.
And he gives you a little, he doesn't give you too much, but he gives you a little. So he gives you a little glimpse of him. And potentially that makes people want to know more. Again, maybe that's part of his allure. Maybe that's a part of his pull. There's a little bit of a mysterious component, it feels like. But this guy's all business. I'm telling you, this guy seems like he's all business to me.
And there is something that is always in common, and is your headphones and the BioPlay.
He kind of makes it known with his body language, especially his facial expression, that he's finished.
Play.
The last.
It's like a definitive finish. Like, I'm done. That's sort of what he indicates. I'm done. He comes across as a guy who is certainly confident in that sense. He doesn't feel the need to people please or embellish.
And now I find myself, with the longest career ever in Formula One, and I still fresh. I still motivated. I still enjoying every single day. I wake up in the morning and I'm happy of what I'm doing. Cool. So yeah, there is a few more years, and hopefully with a title contender in the future.
Mm-hmm. And already on the podium from the first race on. Thank you very much, Fernando.
Thank you.
Dude is intense, man. Dude is intense, for sure. Again, it's interesting. Like I said, I think the best way to characterize him for me is there's a controlled lightheartedness. You see glimpses of it, but I don't think he lets that wall down completely. Again, one of these guys who's realistic. He seems quite pragmatic. Interesting guy to analyze. I enjoyed analyzing him. I enjoyed reacting to him. If there's other drivers or any other videos you'd like me to react to or break down, please do let me know. And if you want to watch my uncut reaction and analysis, all you need to do is go to my Patreon page. I've included the link in my description below. Other than that, my name is Max. I will catch you soon. Peace.